Hey everybody. This is quite an odd week because of election day and because we have asynchronous all day on Thursday, well, half day on Thursday. I would like to go through the second lesson that we are going to do completely. So let me explain this. I'm going to go through the full lesson for those of you who come in on Monday, because you will be responsible for doing the full lesson by yourselves, okay? Again, let me just tell you that it's kind of easier because you guys are able to listen to the readings and pay attention to what the questions are while you're reading. So it is a little bit easier for you to do. I just wanted to make sure that you understood what you were supposed to do for the lesson completely from soup to nuts. So I am going to share my screen and we're going to get started. All right, so you're going to see, we're going to be on, hold on for a second. We're going to be on 7A, subunit 3, lesson 12. This is the last lesson for the reading, okay? It's called a dramatic ending, and we're going to go to tab 2. I am not going to take the time to actually read it or have this read to you. You can do that now when you go through. So stop and start this video as you see fit, if it does help you. So the excerpt that we have to read on this one at the very beginning is called the Class Education Exhibition. It's about 15 minutes long. It tells you, when you read the passage, think about why Geely wasn't allowed to present at the exhibition, even though she did such an excellent job in the preview, okay? And then after you're finished listening to that, you're gonna go to tab 3. So it's just really a reading and you connecting to that reading. The next is an incriminating letter. It takes this excerpt, this piece, takes only about 3 minutes to listen to. And then on the sidebar, you are going to select which statements are true and which statements are false from that excerpt. A says Uncle Tim went to visit Geely's mother, true or false. B said the letter was written against the people in the theater, true or false. C says the letter was addressed to the Central Committee of the party, true or false. D says the letter complained about harsh beatings and ill treatment of people by the rebels, true or false. E says Geely's mother wrote the letter because it would benefit Geely's father and Aunt Wu, true or false. Number 2, using race. What did Geely think would happen if the Red Guards found out about the letter? So you're going to just, in a couple of sentences, using race, answer that question. Hand it in. In tab 4, we are going to read a second piece of passage from the incriminating letter. It will take about 4 minutes. And as you read, you're going to think about how Geely never explains why she decided to hide the letter. And ask yourself, if she had explained, what do you think she would have said? So that's on card 1. When you're finished listening to that, you're going to go to card 2. Again, this is about 5 more minutes. Second part of the incriminating letter. Thin Face says he's giving the children the opportunity for them to help Chairman Mao's revolution. What does he mean, and what could the children do to help the revolution? What might happen if Geely chooses to help with the revolution? Write 2 to 3 sentences. Think about this very hard, okay? Helping Chairman Mao's revolution, okay? He's asking them to tell where the letter is. And if Geely does help with the revolution, she could very well join the ranks. She will never be looked upon as completely trustworthy because she comes from a Black family. You know, a Black marked family, not literally a person of color, but a Black marked family. And if she does choose to help them, what does that mean? Think about what that means for her mother and her grandmother. So write 2 to 3 sentences on that and click next. Card 3 says, as you read this part, think about if you could ask Thin Face right now why he's doing what he's doing, what would he tell you? Besides finding the letter, what victory does Thin Face believe he has won? How does his understanding of his duty compare to Ji Lee's understanding of her duty? So remember, this is about only 2 minutes long. And he basically really, in this part, this excerpt, it's described as he's so full of himself when he actually, they're able to find the letter and the whatnot. So what victory does that mean for Thin Face against Ji Lee and her family? Okay, so hand that in. In tab 5, we're going to read this passage, highlighting words that show how Ji Lee feels. We're going to go back to feelings when she's describing feelings, and look for feeling words. Look for descriptions and phrases that would kind of allude to what she's feeling. And then select, you're not doing this with a partner, obviously, but you select 10 words from the reading that best capture how Ji Lee feels. Okay? All right, so you're going to read this. It's only about 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Again, select 10 words or individual words that best capture her feelings. And then we're going to skip tab 6 and go to the exit ticket for tab 7. In tab 7, okay, it's again another excerpt you need to listen to. It's only about 2 minutes long. And it says, one central idea you've explored in Red Scarf Girl is how Ji Lee is torn between loyalty to her family and loyalty to the Cultural Revolution. Organize the following quotes from the text to show whether they demonstrate loyalty she has felt to her family or loyalty she has felt to the Cultural Revolution. So there's A, once my life had been defined by my goals to be a Dao Du Zhang, to participate in the exhibition, to be a Red Guard. B, I had promised to take care of my family and I would renew that promise every day. C, I would hide my tears and my fear for my mom and grandma's sake. It was my turn to take care of them. Obviously, there's going to be 2 for one of these and then only 1 for the other. Then number 2 says, who or what is Ji Lee's most loyal to? Who or what is Ji Lee most loyal to in the end? Explain your thinking in 1 to 2 sentences. In the end, is she more loyal to her family or is she loyal to the Cultural Revolution? And hand that in. Okay, for those of you who did lesson 12 in class, the people that came on Friday, this is going to be the part where you want to see what is in the solo. You need to do the solo. The solo is the epilogue. This means that this is the follow-up of what happens after she ended the story, the Red Scarf Girl. Okay, and in that, you're going to have to listen to the epilogue, which is about 10 minutes and 25 seconds, highlighting words and phrases that catch your attention. Okay, write notes, whatever you're thinking in order to connect with what she is saying. Okay, so in number 1, what truth did Ji Lee and others learn about the Cultural Revolution? Chairman Mao manipulated the country. Being persecuted is an honor if the country is better for it. Chairman Mao was not at fault for the bad things that happened. Or a fair legal system helped create the Cultural Revolution. Next one, number 2, which 2 things did not change after ransacking of Ji Lee's home? Grandma swept the alley twice a day. Aunt Wu and Ji Lee's father were released. Ji Lee was not allowed to be in the theater. Ji Lee's mother wrote self-criticizing reports, or a new group of people replaced the rebels of the theater company. You're looking for 2 things there. Number 3, this question has 2 parts. Part 1, during the Cultural Revolution, what charges were brought against Ji Lee's father? Lying about his education, illegally joining the Communist Party, agreeing with the anti-rightist movement, being a landlord and a rightist. And in part 2, which evidence from paragraph 10, and again, you're going to go to paragraph 10. Which is right here in 1980. Starts right there. My father was finally cleared. Best explains how those charges affected his life. In paragraph 10, which evidence best explains how those charges affected his life? A, Dad had risked his life by joining the Communist Party. B, he was never officially classified as a rightist. C, he was denied promotions, major roles, and his career was ruined. Or D, he was rehabilitated and appointed vice president of the Children's Art Theater. Next one, place the events from the epilogue in the order in which they occurred in real time instead of how they are presented in the text. Jiang moves to the United States. Chairman Mao dies. The anti-rightist movement begins. Jiang's father is promoted to vice president of the Children's Art Theater. Jiang's grandmother dies. Chairman Mao sends youth to work out in the countryside. Jiang graduates from the University of Hawaii. To put these in actual timeline. Number 5, match the evidence to the claim provided. The claim we were all brainwashed. The claim Mao was blameless. The claim our class status continued to hold us back. This evidence says, A, if the country was better for the movement that persecuted me, I was still in favor of it. Letter B, those who persecuted others, even beat or tortured them, were victims too, after all. And letter C, Ji Yang was not allowed to become a trumpeter, nor Ji Yun a singer. Okay? So match each ABC with these claims. And then go next. Okay, so last is Ji Li Zhang's mission is to A, adopt a new country and forget her old one. B, share the truth about what happened during the Cultural Revolution. C, prevent revisionism and capitalism. Or D, promote cultural exchanges between her country and her home. And you can reread this to see if you can get a sense of why the mission and what the mission is. I would hint that in the very latter part, the very ending, she talks about really what she wants out of writing this story. Okay, so again, if you were in Friday, you're only gonna like fast forward to this latter part to do the solo. And if you weren't in, you do all of this and you can use this video as you see fit. Next week, we will have Wednesday off. Stay tuned for all of that, but hopefully soon we will get to what is our new normal. I hope everyone stays safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in the classroom.